The eviction notice was still shaking in my hand when I stepped out into the cold morning air. I had lived in that apartment for 3 years. Paid rent on time. Never complained. Never caused trouble. And yet, the landlord stood in front of me just an hour ago with 2 security guards behind him like I was some criminal. "Pack your things. You have until evening," he said without even looking me in the eye. No warning that made sense. No real explanation. Just arrogance wrapped in authority. What he didn't know was that I had already been tracking that building for months. Not as a tenant, but as someone studying every financial weakness behind it. I walked down the street slowly, holding the eviction paper, while my mind replayed everything I had quietly discovered. The building wasn't as stable as it looked. Loans were overdue. Ownership was tangled. The landlord was drowning in debt he had been hiding behind fake confidence and intimidation. And now he had made the worst mistake of his life. He had thrown me out. That night, I didn't pack like a defeated tenant. I made phone calls. One to a broker who had no idea who I really was. One to a lawyer who thought I was just another desperate buyer. And one to the bank handling the property's overdue mortgage. By midnight, the deal was already moving faster than anyone expected. The next morning, I stood outside the same building again. But this time, I wasn't holding a suitcase. I was holding keys. The morning sun hit the glass windows of the building in a way that made everything look normal from the outside. But nothing about this moment was normal. I stood across the street, watching people walk in and out like any other day, completely unaware that the ownership of their world had changed overnight. My phone buzzed once. Final confirmation. The transfer was complete. I wasn't a tenant anymore. I was the owner. I crossed the road slowly, each step heavier than the last, not from doubt but from the weight of what was about to happen. The same security guard who had watched me get kicked out yesterday was still there at the entrance, scrolling on his phone like nothing had changed. I walked straight up to him. He didn't recognize me at first. "Sir, visitors are not allowed without permission," he said casually, still not looking up properly. I didn't answer immediately. I just held the set of keys in my hand and let the silence stretch. Then I spoke. "Call your boss." He finally looked at me properly. Something in his expression shifted, just slightly. Confusion first. Then irritation. Then a small hint of uncertainty. "My boss is busy," he replied. I took a step closer and pointed at the building behind him. "Tell him the building he kicked me out of yesterday has a new owner today." For a second, he laughed like I was joking. But I wasn't. The moment I pushed open the door and walked inside, the entire lobby felt different. The same walls. Same lights. Same reception desk. But the power inside those walls had changed completely. And somewhere upstairs, the man who threw me out was about to find out he had just lost everything. The moment I stepped into the lobby, everything felt quieter than it should have been. Not because the place was empty, but because people were suddenly aware that something was off. The receptionist looked up, confused by the way I walked in without hesitation. I didn't stop at the desk. I didn't ask permission. I just moved forward like I belonged there more than anyone else. Because now, I did. Behind me, I could hear the security guard speaking rapidly into his radio, voice rising with every sentence. Footsteps started shifting upstairs. Doors opening. Whispers spreading faster than anyone could control. And then it happened. The elevator doors opened. And he walked out. The landlord. The same man who had looked at me yesterday like I was nothing more than a problem to remove. Today, he looked different. Not confident. Not powerful. Just uncertain. His eyes met mine instantly. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then he forced a smile that didn't belong on his face. "What are you doing here?" he asked, trying to sound in control. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. "I think you already know," I said. He glanced at the staff behind me, as if expecting someone to step in and remove me again. But no one moved. Not this time. I took another step forward, slow and steady. "You gave me a deadline yesterday," I continued. "You told me to leave by evening." His jaw tightened. "And I did," I added. A pause. Then I let the words land fully. "I left as a tenant." The silence that followed was heavier than anything in the room. His expression changed slightly. Like a memory was starting to connect with something he didn't want to understand. I reached into my coat and pulled out a single document. Not just a paper. A statement. Proof. His eyes dropped to it. And that's when his confidence finally started to crack. Because he was beginning to realize the truth wasn't coming for him slowly anymore. It was already standing right in front of him. His hand shook slightly as he took the document. For the first time since I had known him, he wasn't in control of the situation. His eyes scanned the papers faster and faster, searching for a mistake, a loophole, anything that could undo what he was seeing. But there was nothing to undo. The building. The lease agreements. The outstanding loans. The forced sale triggered by his default. Every detail was real. Legal. Final. And my name sat at the center of it all. He slowly lowered the papers. "You bought it," he said, like the words didn't make sense coming out of his mouth. I didn't answer right away. I looked around the lobby instead. The same space where I had once stood holding an eviction notice. The same place where I was treated like I didn't matter. Now every person in that room was watching him instead of me. "Yes," I said finally. "You removed me from your building yesterday." A short pause. "So I bought the building today." His face tightened, anger trying to rise but failing halfway, swallowed by disbelief and fear. "This is not possible in one day," he said quickly. "It is when you're already collapsing," I replied calmly. "You just didn't see it?" That hit harder than anything else. Because it was true. He hadn't seen the missed payments. The hidden notices. The quiet legal pressure building behind the scenes. He only saw control. He never saw risk. And that blindness cost him everything. A staff member stepped forward nervously, looking between us. "What happens now?" someone asked quietly. I turned slightly, looking at the building around me again. Then I spoke clearly, so everyone could hear. "Nothing unfair," I said. "No revenge. No chaos." A pause. "Just rules. The same rules you all followed yesterday, now followed properly." My eyes returned to him. "But one thing changes today." He swallowed hard. "You don't decide who belongs here anymore." Silence filled the lobby completely. He stood there for a moment longer, trying to hold onto something that no longer existed. Then slowly, reality settled into him. He wasn't the one in charge now. Not even close. As I walked past him toward the elevator, I didn't look back. Because some doors don't just open to a new floor. They open to a completely new life.